of a view that the referendum is not going to pass. I think that is close to the conventional wisdom. Is it still an open question, though? Could yes win, in your view?
In my view, yes, it could still win. I mean, I think it's a 50-50 probability, to be quite honest. It is true that opinion polls are actually suggesting that the no camp is going to win. But my guess is not only because they failed to predict Brexit and Trump, but also because I think it will be important, the turnout. Because if the turnout is not big enough, it might actually be that the yes camp wins. And also, I think it will be key to see what are the votes on non-residents. For the first time, non-residents like myself can actually cast their vote by mail, which is a novelty. So I think there are a number of uncertainties. I think it's still 50-50, to be quite honest.
And we understand that you voted yes already as you cast your ballot. Talk to us a little bit about the opposition to Matteo Renzi. Who are they? Are they fractured groups that have little common ground with each other, aside from the fact that they oppose Matteo Renzi and they just want to work together to topple him?
Exactly. I mean, I think the opposition is very much fragmented. Some people want the reforms to go even beyond what is proposed right now. Some other people want to oppose completely the reform. So I think if this proposal fails to get a popular vote, it would be extremely difficult to come up with a different proposal. My guess is that we won't talk about constitutional reforms for the next 10 years.
The referendum is designed to allow a streamlining of the creation of laws, basically make government work better. Let's say it does pass. What then is on the actual reform agenda for this government? With this new ability to get things passed, what needs to, what are the tasks ahead?
Well, first of all, the next general elections are in the spring of 2018. Unless there is something very disruptive that forces early elections, but I don't think will be the case. So that is the kind of time frame. I think if the current government, Matteo Renzi, and the rest of the PD goes to elections and they win the elections, so they have an outright majority with a majority of seats in the lower house, which will be the only lawmaking house according to the reform, then you might actually expect a more kind of reformist stance in the next political term. I think between now and the next elections, it's kind of difficult to expect any significant fiscal consolidation or any structural reform, significant structural reform, simply because it's election time already.
And of course, this vote on constitutional reform has turned into a make-or-break vote on Matteo Renzi's future and his vision for Italy and how the economy can move forward, be smaller, be more nimble. Why is it that Matteo Renzi's economic reforms have yet to bring about change? Is it flawed the way it's constructed, or has he not been given enough time to deliver on them, or is it a case of the legislature and the government, the way it's structured, won't allow for the kinds of changes he's proposing?
Well, he took office in February 2014. Initially, there was honeymoon. Indeed, later on, in May 2014, there was a European elections, and the PD got almost 41% of the votes. So basically, people were very, very happy and excited about the new prime minister and a new government. But clearly, after 2.5 years, and if you don't see the economy recovering with a pace that is strong enough to generate jobs and to provide some kind of good feeling, then you start thinking, well, it's not going particularly well. And this is what is happening now. So there are people that are disillusioned with the current government and the prime minister. I think it's kind of difficult to recover, to have a recovery in the economy when you have very heavy headwinds, such as problems in the banking sector, like we have seen in Italy. And so I think it's kind of difficult to see, a strong recovery right now. But again, expectations by voters are pretty high, and actually they have been a little bit disappointed.